Welcome back, guys. In this video I'll be showing you guys how to go and add additional blank storage to your existing virtual hard drive. So if you want to know how to add an existing hard drive which you've uploaded to Azure, it most likely is in the VHD format, and you most likely went and uploaded an existing VHD format hard drive as such. If you want to know how to go and add that to a virtual machine, stay tuned for that video, subscribe, and then I'll be doing a video for that as well. So in today's video, I'll be showing you just how to go and create a blank hard drive, in other words, and how to go about actually adding that to an existing virtual machine. So first of all, I've already have a virtual machine called Burning Ice Tech. I've created that in one of my previous videos. So let me first just jump in here and go to my virtual machines. Here we go. And there you can see there's the virtual machine. So if I click on that, it's going to open the component called Burning Ice Tech, which is obviously a virtual machine. There's the blade. And on the overview tab, I'm just going to jump right in and connect to it. It already is started. You can see it's already running. There's the status. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on connect, download the RDP file. Download. There's the RDP file. Connect. 12-character password, it's the minimum. Give it a moment to connect. So I'm first just connecting to the virtual machine, and then I will be adding storage. So one of the cool things about these virtual machines on the Azure platform is they are hot swappable when it comes to these hard drives. In other words, you can go and hot add a hard drive while the virtual machine is running. So it's kind of like a RAID array on premises. So you do not need to turn the virtual machine off to be able to add additional storage. So normally with a physical computer, you've got to turn it off, plug the hard drive in, turn it back on, initialize and format the hard drive. With these virtual machines on the Azure platform, you do not need to turn it off, which is very, very useful if this turns out to be a legit server in your environment. And maybe this is in the middle of production time and you need to go and add storage. You cannot afford to turn a server off in production time. So what do you do in a situation like that? So this is going to solve that problem where you can just go and effectively add storage while the virtual machine is running. So I'm just going to close the server manager. We don't need that in this video. Let me open Explorer just to show you the hard drives we currently have on here. So that's what we've got at the moment. We can pretty much ignore that one for now. So we've got C drive. It's been split into two pretty much. It's been partitioned, but it's got one hard drive. It's just been split into two. So with that being said, let me minimize this. Minimize that. And with the blade, which we talked about in the previous video, where the previous video was called how to create a virtual machine on Azure. So this is called the blade. Everything you see in this blade is specific and unique to that component, which is a virtual machine. And it's only for that one virtual machine, not for other virtual machines, just this one. So I'm going to go to the disks tab, which is going to obviously open the hard drives for that specific virtual machine. At the moment, we only have the one, which is called the OS disk, which is obviously operating system. Now, if you want to go and add existing storage, in other words, upload a hard drive and add it, this is going to be the same place where you're going to end up in the end of the day. So towards the end of that video, when I eventually go and create that video, this is where we're going to end up. But to get to this stage is going to be quite a few steps. You're going to have to go and convert it to VHD if it's not, convert it to static if it's not, go and upload it if it's not. So there's quite a few things you actually have to go and do before you actually get to this point with regards to uploading an existing hard drive. Today's video, just a new blank one. So I'm going to go to here where it says add disk. And this is pretty much where you're going to find the hard drive if you uploaded it, but I didn't upload one. So I'm just going to go click on create. It's going to temporarily take us to a new window. As soon as we're done here, it's going to take us back to the previous one. So you need to remember to click on create, and on the next menu, you need to remember to click on save. I can't tell you guys how many times I forgot to click on save. And then eventually when I go to the virtual machine, I'm like, okay, so where's my hard drive? And then it turns out I forgot. So disk name, it really doesn't matter what I call it. I'm just going to call it secondary. The name you type here is only for Azure portal, or Azure as some people call it. It's only for that reference. It's not the name that's actually going to reflect on the computer. So if I were to go back here to Explorer, the name you see here on the hard drive, for example, this one says temporary storage. That name you specify via disk management on the virtual machine itself. So the name I'm about to type there on the Azure portal, or Azure as some people call it, that is only for Azure portal references. Okay, so that's just to help me keep track of it from this side. So it doesn't really matter what I call it. I've got a resource group here from my previous video, virtual machine resource group. So I'm going to chuck it into the same group because it's the same virtual machine. It just makes sense. What size hard drive want? I mean, look at that. The default size is a terabyte. That's insane, man. So you can go and choose certain specs, not completely. So I can go and choose, do I want solid state, old mechanical, what size. So let's just go have a peek there. I'm going to leave it on the default, but I want to show you what you have available here. So this is the sizes we've got available. I mean, look at that. It goes up to 32 terabytes. That's insane. You can see the IOPS, max shares. And this is just premium solid state. So if I scroll down here, you can see these are probably the slower ones. So standard SSD and standard normal mechanical drives, those are obviously going to be the slower drives. They will probably be a lot cheaper though. So the fanciest one, which is being premium, it'll probably be the highest performance one and probably the most expensive one. But servers generally need performance. So it really depends on what you're going to be needing. If you're going to be making a server and you need a decent hard drive, but you don't need such good speeds or such big sizes, I would not say go for the most expensive kind because you're going to waste money. So I'm going to leave it on the default for now. Let's see, that's all fine. I'm going to go ahead and create it. Creating it takes about anywhere between 1 minute and 5 minutes based on past experiences. Let's just give it a moment and see what happens here. It says creating disk down in the notification section. Bear in mind, once we've created this disk and once we've saved this disk, it will not necessarily pop up on this virtual machine. So if I were to go here, it's not going to pop up. The reason being, it's the same as a physical hard drive that you would go into put into a physical machine. It's not going to just pop up if it's a blank hard drive you just bought from the store. You need to go and do what? Initialize / format that drive. So you can think of it as having a blank parking lot, and cars don't know where to go and park. It's going to be utter chaos. So what you need to go and do is you can imagine yourself going into that parking lot, painting some parking lines, and the cars being the data here in this example, they will now know where to go and park themselves. So there's structure, there's order. So when you go and format, you're giving it some structure, some order. Data will know where to go and park themselves. That's obviously not the only thing that happens when you go and format a hard drive, but that's one of the things that effectively happens. So let's just go back there. I think it's done. So you can see it's taken us back to here to the previous page now. There's the hard drive. It's been created, but it has not been applied to the virtual machine yet. So in order for this to actually take effect, you need to go and click on save. And that's the button I forget like half the time. So it doesn't matter how much experience you have. We all make mistakes. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all human here. This also takes about 1 to 5 minutes. I don't think it will take that long. Let's give it a moment. Notice the virtual machine is still running. I did not turn the virtual machine off. Here it is. It's still running. Let's give it a moment. Here we go. It has been successfully saved. I'm going to circle back to the virtual machine here. Obviously, you can see there's no hard drives. If I refresh this, no hard drives. And I'm going to go here, right click on start. Disk management. How you get to disk management is up to you. There's so many ways you can get to disk management. As long as you get to disk management, which effectively allows you to manage hard drives, internal, external, and otherwise. If you would like to have a video about disk management, please let me know in the comments below. So you can see it picks up the hard drive that I've just created. There we go. Disk 2. Let's initialize. Okay. Give it a few moments. While it's busy with that, let me just expand this and make it more visible for you guys. You can see there's the new blank hard drive. It says unallocated. I think up until the old XP operating system, it used to say raw. And since Vista or Vista, some people know it came out, they've changed it now. Now it says unallocated. And since Vista / Vista came out, I'm still getting used to the fact of how quickly these drives format now. Now if I have to go and format this, it takes a matter of seconds, then it's done. On XP, I remember starting a format and I would go make dinner and come back and sometimes it'd still not be done. So there's the blank hard drive that I just bought from the store, or in this case just made via the portal. New simple volume. You can see it's 1 terabyte. Next. How much of that space do I want to use? I want to use the whole 1 terabyte. You can go and choose to not use all of it if you want to. Next. Which drive letter do you want to use? Obviously, you can only use the drive letters that has not been allocated or assigned to something yet. I'm not too concerned about this part because this part is technically not Azure portal. This is just normal technician stuff, so to speak. Next. What file format do you want? File system. You can see there's the new REFS one that you also get. Here is where you specify the name. So that's what I was talking about earlier. So the name that you want to reflect on your hard drive here, this is where you go and choose it. So if this is going to be a data hard drive and you want to call it data, that's where you're going to go and label it. If you want to call this games, that's where you're going to type it. If you want to call this movies, that's where you're going to go and call it. So heck, I can go and call this data just for argument's sake. Next. Finito. And let's just wait a few moments for that little cake to bake. Notice it says formatting. And voila, we're done. Did you notice how it popped up in the background? So as soon as that thing was done, you could actually see it pop up live in the background there. So you can see there's the whole 1 TB. It's a blank hard drive. And voila, you guys have effectively just added additional blank storage to an existing server or an existing virtual machine in the cloud. So adding blank storage is very easy, as you guys have seen. I mean, this video is very short. Adding existing storage is a whole different game, so that may or may not be a very big hard drive. So if you're going to be uploading that, I recommend you do that preferably after hours, depending on how big it is and how fast your internet connection at your company is. But preferably do that after hours. Make a backup, and there's a list of requirements that needs to be met. So please watch that video if you intend on doing that, because there's a whole list of requirements you need to meet, and there's a bunch of PowerShell commands for the most part you need to go and run. So see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.